At the end of the day, no matter how many obstacles are in your way, at the end of the day, there is no one else to blame for you not trying to get over those obstacles other than yourself. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today's topic of discussion is stop telling the Black community that they're delusional and that they're imagining their experiences. And when I first thought to upload this video, I was gonna upload all these statistics and numbers and talk about how horrible slavery was and the civil rights movement was, and the years and generations and years and years and years and the generation after generation of Black people being treated less than and other less than human Black men constantly being talked down to like children and emasculated, and the fact that people act as if that would not have any effect on today's Black community, because of course it would. But I kind of wanted to switch it a little bit. Let me say this is for people on the other side, whether it's the skeptic side or the anti-SJW side, the extremist side, I feel like a lot of times that they completely dismiss Black people's experience or Black and brown people's experience because they don't want to give them an inch. They don't want to give them a win. So if anyone says like, I experience racism, or I've been profiled, or people are discriminatory to me, or I feel people are biased toward me, it is kind of like dismissed in like, oh my god, it's 2017, there's no more racism, just shut the fuck up kind of attitude. And I think that if the other side wants to have a more of a productive conversation and build a bridge, that you have to kind of stop doing that, because no one's going to want to listen to you when they feel like you do not give a fuck about their experiences. And I know that the other side, the anti and the skeptic side, are kind of like over people's feelings. Like, okay, we get it, that hurt your feelings, but that's, you know, I'm talking facts here, I'm talking numbers here. But you can't do that if you want to actually have a productive conversation, because there are people who still today in 2017 experience discrimination. There are people who get profiled just because they're Black or brown. There are people who feel like the people treat them different, talk to them different, approach them different because of the color of their skin. And I know that to be the case because I've been through those things. So when I hear people say like there's not racism anymore, people don't profile people anymore, people don't do those things anymore, I know it's a factual lie. Even if I was the only freaking person that's ever gone through that, it's still a lie because I'm a person and I've gone through that. So to constantly dismiss people's experiences, especially when those experiences have really hurt them and hit them in a place that they can't just forget and let go, to see people just kind of like dismiss that and pretend as if they're delusional or they're making that up or they're exaggerating. Not that those things don't happen, but that's not everybody. Everyone's not coming from that place. And so if you want to build a bridge, have a productive conversation, if you want to try to actually understand what people are saying, then it's like you gotta listen. And it's kind of like when really religious Bible thumpers stand on a corner and just like judge everybody. It's like, how am I supposed to listen to what you have to say to me when you're coming to me with the judgment? When you're coming to me, you don't care about who I am, you don't know my story, you don't know where I'm from, and you're just judging me. So when other people just like scoff at people's experience, especially when those experiences have really altered the their perception of the world, then that's not the way to have a conversation. And you might not care to have a conversation. If you don't, then just keep doing you, boo. But those things happen, and those things can be really traumatic for a lot of people. And still today, there are people who can't move to a more more diverse state or city. There are people who still have to live in the backwoods of Alabama or the South, where people are more racist, and they do experience that more often. People who live in maybe crime or lower income families where they might get profiled more often. So stop acting as if these things don't happen, because they do happen. Now I'm saying that, but I understand these experiences because I've experienced them myself, but I never allow these experiences to alter my perception of reality. And painful and traumatic experiences can very much easily do that, and it's human nature. Like, for instance, I was molested as a child by a family member. I was also sexually assaulted by 2 grown men as an adult. I could have easily took those two combined, and my father left when I was a child, so I could have took all those combined experiences and allow that to alter my perception of the world. I could have took those and said all men are bad, all men are rapists, all men will abandon you, all men are horrible, misogynist, patriarchal, evil assholes. I could have took those past experiences and allowed that to dictate to me what my perception of the world and other men will be. But I decided not to do that. I decided not to punish every single guy for the sins of someone else. And I could have also took my experiences as a child. I used to get profiled a lot. There was Armenian or Middle Eastern community in Detroit growing up, and they were notorious for staring your ass down and follow you around the store. If you were a little black kid, they were gonna stare you down and profile the fuck out of you. I told a bit of a story in another video that I got pulled over by the cops when I was 14 years old, little kid on my bicycle, going to my little part-time job, because in Detroit you can work at 14 if you get your parents' permission. 2 police car officers pulled up, jumped out of the car with their guns drawn on me, telling me to get off my bike. After they realized I wasn't who they thought I was, they said that I resembled a suspect. That suspect was a grown-ass man with piercings all in his face, and I didn't have this piercing at the time. I was a 14-year-old girl, so I know what being profiled feels like. I know what people looking at you differently or talking to you differently and all those things feel like. I've been called nigger multiple times. I know what that feels like, but I never took those experiences and said, okay, now everyone's like this. I just took those experiences as that is that individual, that is not everybody. And again, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, because I do think it's kind of human nature. If your whole life is, someone comes from a world where every single man they've ever came in contact with have done them dirty, you can't expect them to now have this really good image of men. That's just how human nature is. So I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's, try not to allow your past pains and your past hurts to alter your perception of reality, because it may not be true. Or it may be true, but it may not be true. For instance, for another example, because I was molested, when I see grown men with small children, my knee-jerk heart reaction is, oh my God, I hope that guy is not hurting that kid. I hope that guy is not molesting that kid. Because I never experienced what it is. My father left when I was young. I had a stepfather, but he wasn't around when I was really, really small. And I have my dad back in my life now, and everything's amazing. But I didn't grow up in a healthy environment where, and all the women in my family growing up, they're all single women. So I didn't see that picture of a father bouncing their little girl on their lap and that being completely, totally normal and healthy. So in my mind, when I see that, my knee-jerk reaction is oh my gosh, I hope he's not hurting her. But I know logically there's an extremely good chance that that's not happening. I know logically that it's just a loving father to their child or to their nephew or whatever. And I know how to not allow my past hurts and the past sins that happened to me to alter my perception of reality. Because if I went around thinking every single guy was molesting a child, that would be a false reality. I'm allowing my past to dictate what's really going on. And so if you experience racism or people being biased against you or prejudice, I have a lisp all of a sudden, against you, then you may see it where it doesn't exist because of your past experiences. You have every right to be angry, upset, and frustrated. But me, I'm just saying you just try not to allow that to completely dictate and control your behavior moving forward towards other people, because it might not exactly be true. It might not be what's actually happening or what's going on. And I also, I'm going to make another video about this, but I do think if we carry a lot of that with us, we pass it down to our children, and our children inherit our pain. And I don't think that's right, and I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's, a child's job to carry the banner for their mother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, or what happened to them, so I have to continue to make people pay for their sins or their father's sins. I don't agree with that. But I'm not trying to dismiss the pain, and I'm not trying to dismiss the anger or the frustration, because you have every right to be, but it's not gonna really help you moving forward. Like, anger and is one of the most toxic emotions that you can hold on to, because it completely change you who you have to change the person you're meant to be. And I've seen it happen firsthand. I don't know if you can tell. Can you see this scar here? That's a scar. That's my mom did that. My mom was a very, very angry person, because she held on to a lot of anger, to a lot of pain. To this very day, she can still conjure up what happened to her 30, 40, how old she is years ago. It's one of the most toxic emotions, and it usually stems from hurt, because it's less vulnerable to express anger than it is to express hurt and pain. Forgiveness is for yourself, so you can move on, and so you can heal, and so you can have a better life. Holding on to grudges is like, we all heard the quote, holding on to grudges and anger and hate towards the other person is like drinking bleach and expecting the other person to die. Eventually, it's just going to corrode onto you. It's going to affect you more than anything. At the end of the day, no matter how many obstacles are in your way, at the end of the day, there is no one else to blame for you not trying to get over those obstacles other than yourself. And I don't like the idea of people appropriating other people's past pains as their own, but I still think there is something to be said that would affect the Black community today. So I'm just trying to say, on this side, on the skeptic anti-side, listen, have some empathy and stop pretending that these things don't exist. On the other side, try not to allow your past pains or the sins of others to completely distort or cloud your perception, or even control your perception of the world or of people. Not to say that things are being exaggerated and stuff like that, because there is those things happening, but just be sure that you're not punishing someone else for someone else's behavior that happened in the past. You know what I mean? I hope that point got across. I hope so. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you agree with me in any of these points, please share with this community in a comment section below. Or even if you disagree with me, you can still share that with me. Enlighten me, educate me in the comment section below. Again, if you like these type of videos, please like it and share it. If you want to continue to have these conversations and these discussions with me, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, please hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload, so YouTube don't hide my damn ass channel. And until next time, thank you, and